Everything is reincarnated, as in the days of Noah. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha, Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And the purpose of this video is to show you, which I pray that you hopeful members of the elect and you few sisters are edified. The whole purpose of this video is to teach you not only about reincarnation, but how everything we're witnessing on this planet today was happening during the time of Noah. Okay. Whether if it's from, look what time it is, 11:44, 1:44. The water Yahweh, the water Yahweh Shai. But show you that everything is reincarnated. Everything that we're witnessing here on the earth today is reincarnated. As you may see, people may look at a car or a truck or a bus and be like, see, look, this is new, but believe it or not, vehicles are no more than conduits of transportation that we use to get from point A to point B. Now, the conduits of transportation to get from point A to point B existed back in the ancient world? The answer is yes. Whether if it was a horse with a carriage attached to the back of it. Sometimes people will use elephants as transportation. And your modern day elephant today will be what? Your bus, your semi truck, your heavy duty means of transportation. That will be your buses, your semi trucks. That will be your trains, etc. Okay. Horses. That will be your modern day cars, your trucks, your SUVs. Horses with carriages on the back of them. Okay, so transportation existed back then. TVs are no more than your modern day Urim and the theorems. Okay, and if you don't know what a Urim and the theorem is, if I'm saying that correctly, okay, that it's a Urim and the theorem is kind of like back in the ancient world. I guess you could say it was like a crystal ball. And it was like a crystal ball that would show particular events. It would show particular things. The Lord will show you or his prophets particular things that will come to pass through those things. Okay. Okay, so, TVs, laptops, movie screens, that's nothing new. Okay. Urim and theorems existed back in the ancient world, which was used to display particular events that was to unfold in the future, okay, with which the Lord would show his prophets. Speakers, that you would play sound or music through. That's nothing new. Back in the ancient world, we had horns, we had musical instruments. Musical instruments existed back in the ancient world. And a matter of fact, King David played the harp, didn't he not? The harp is a musical instrument. You see, so as you may know, everything is reincarnated. I mean, people look at light bulbs and they be like, look, light bulbs, that's something new. Nope. Okay. Back in ancient world, we had lanterns. Okay. As a matter of fact, in some places, we used to have glowstones. Look up glowstones. Glowstones was like a stone. You would charge it during the daytime, and at nighttime, it would give light to your room. Okay, so we used to have something called glowstones. Okay, and then there was lanterns. Okay, a lantern was like um it was like a placeholder for fire. Like you would light up the inside, right? And then you would hang it up on like your ceiling or whatever, and the fire inside of that thing would give light to your room. So there was something called lanterns, candles. Those were your lights back then that would give light to your vicinities. Glowstones, like I said earlier. Okay, so nothing new under the sun. You know, smoking, that's nothing new. Babylonians used to smoke. Egyptians probably used to smoke too. Smoking goes way back then. Cigarettes is nothing new. Cigars is nothing new. You know, which smoking used to be used to be some kind of ritual back in the ancient world. Some kind of wicked ritual. You know, of witchcraft. Drugs existed back in the ancient world. You know, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, they used to get high and shit when participating in particular ceremonies and rituals. So the point is that everything is reincarnated. You know, this also includes the violence that goes on, as you will see right here in Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that hath been it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. Okay? And there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, are we under the sun? Yes. Here under the sun, this is where judgment takes place. This is where the all the records of mankind is recorded here under the sun. Okay? Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. You see that? What about electricity? What about electronics? Electricity existed back in the ancient world. Okay? Electricity ain't nothing new. It's always been here on the earth. It's always been here on the earth. Okay? No. Okay, it says, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Okay? So, there is no new thing under the sun. So, you got a lot of people, they marvel at the violence, at all the corruption, at all the wickedness, at all the evil that is going on here on the earth. You know, people dying of torture, people getting kidnapped, cannibalized. You know, people getting other people high and then putting them to death. You know, men who would covet after other men's women. They would, they would kill off the men, take his woman. They would murder the man. Okay, take his woman, have their way with her. You know, just all manner of unrighteous decrees and wickedness that was going on. No children, no children being molested. That's nothing new. That was going on during the time of Noah. Okay, children who would be who will be kidnapped, child napped, okay, raped, you know. Everything that we see going on here on the earth today was going on during the time of Noah. Okay, and a matter of fact, if we come over here to the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 5, okay, it says, and God, now when you see God in all caps, that's talking about the Most High right there, whose name is Yahweh in the Hebrew, okay? So, and Yahweh saw the wickedness of man, and Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, right? Great. Matter of fact, so you can better understand. I'm gonna look this up in the Blue Letter Bible as well, but let's go over here and let's look up great. No, let's see. Great definition. The wickedness of man was great in the earth. Okay. This is great from google.com. It says of an extent, amount, or intensity considerably above the normal or average. You see that? Okay. It says of ability, quality, eminence considerably above normal average. Okay. Above normal average. So this was not your average wickedness that was going on in the earth. Okay. Now, there's a scripture that tells you, down here we have excellently, very well, which excellent, those is where you get the word excel from the word excellent. Excellent or excellent means that you when you're excellent at something, it means you greatly excel at it. Okay. So our people was so because even the sons of God, which were Israel back then, which was us, the scriptures tell you that our people surpass the deeds of the wicked. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on, have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. Because during the time of Noah, right, you had three categories of men. You had the sons of God, which will be the children of the Most High, which was us back then. And then you had um, 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 you had the sons of men, okay, which back then were the Arabs, the East Indians. But even though back then they was not being called Ishmael or Elam, they was the sons of man was reincarnated as Elam and Moab, Ammon, so forth. But you had the sons of man, which were the Arabs, the East Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Africans, the Hawaiians, okay, the North and South Koreans, the Taiwanese, okay. Those were the sons of man back then. And then you had the sons of the wicked, which were the Edomites back then. The Edomites today would be the so-called elites, okay, the so-called elites, them fake rats in our land, which is the land of Israel, claiming to be Jewish, but they're really Edomites. They're not Jewish. Okay, Edomite is a descendant of Esau, which will predominantly be the self-proclaimed white man, starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. So during the time of Noah, you had three categories of men back then. You had the sons of God, you had the sons of man, and you had the sons of the wicked. Okay. Now we know that the sons of the wicked were set up to do wickedness, right? But when our people, when our people, set their mind on something, we excel at whatever we set our mind to. Like if I wanted to set my mind to being an artist, drawing, poetry, or whatever, I would greatly excel at it. you know Like I remember when I was a child and I was in elementary school, man, I was so good at math. I just, you know, I used to be able to solve two digit math problems in my head just like that. I could look. We used to have this little flashcard game in elementary school. I might have been 13 years old. I can't remember, or 12, but I believe I was in fourth grade, maybe. But man, I was so smart in class. They literally allowed me to skip a grade. I went from fourth to sixth grade. But I remember we had this flashcard game, and basically a person would stand up and he would go around to each desk, and the teacher would show a mathematical problem on a flashcard. And the first one to answer, when the person would go over to the person's desk, the person that was sitting down at the desk would stand up, and then the teacher would show the flashcard, and it would be a mathematical problem, rather if it was a single digit or a two-digit math problem. And the first one to answer the first one to solve the mathematical question first um would either sit down at the desk and move on to the next one. So, you know, I still remember this when the person came over to my desk, you know, it was almost instantly when I saw the math problem, I already knew the answer, you know. I, I literally I literally beat everybody in that classroom. Nobody could solve those math problems quicker than I could. I've always had a I've always had a knack for math. Like math was always one of my most favorite subjects as a child. And low key it's actually still is. I love math, you know, you know, and I believe it was multiplication. We was doing multiplication. It was a flashcard of multiplication problems, and it was like single digits. It was like almost instantly. The moment I saw it, I just knew the answer. Bam. Moved on to the next one. Bam. Moved on to the next one. I was pretty liked by the chicks in that class too. I was. But anyways, not to get off topic. Um, the point is that whatever we set our minds to, we greatly excel at it. So you already know if we, diving into those wicked philosophies and taking on the wicked customs of those other nations during the time of Noah, if us diving into those things would mean that we had to greatly excel in the wickedness that the nations were doing. I mean, hell, the other nations were probably looking at us like God damn, Nick, oh, chill, like, yeah, But I'm gonna read this. Let's start at verse 26, so you can know that in verse 28, Jeremiah is talking about our people. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26. For among my people, who are Jeremiah's people, the Israelites, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. For among my people are found what? Wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. Now, when it says they, that's talking about a group of niggas right there. Okay. And you even see that sometimes, like at nighttime, it might be a group of niggas just standing on the corners talking and shit. And then they might see a person walking down the street by himself, and then they might follow him and shit. Start questioning him, like where you from, bruh? Where you from, bruh? What you got in your pockets, bruh? They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men. Same thing that was going on during the time of Noah, right? It says, as a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. You know, Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. You know, okay? Now check this out. They are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. So you already know that the most wicked people around this time was more than likely our people, because we excel at, because the Lord made us that way. Whatever we set our mind or our hands to do, we greatly excel at it. Okay? So it says they are waxen fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless. Okay, the cause of the fatherless. Yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. And the right of the needy do they not judge. There you go. Okay. Man. Okay. So, you know, but again, it's not just our people, it's also these heathens. They're starting with the top heathen on the planet, which is Esau, Edom, so-called white man. He's the top wicked on the planet. Excuse me. Okay. So Yahweh saw the wickedness of man, and Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. Wickedness excelled in the earth through men. Okay, we looked up the word great earlier, right? Now let's look up this word great in the Blue Letter Bible. Great. Rab. Rab. R-A-B. Rab. Much, many. So the wickedness was many in the earth. Much. Abounding in. Abundant, enough, great, strong, greater than, much, exceedingly. Okay. So let's see what the root word has to say. Okay, to become many, be or become much, or become great, or become great. To be or become many. To be or become great. To be long, 10,000s. And we see right here, Rabab. Rabab. Okay. Let's see if he says it correctly.
Strong's H, 7231. Ravav. Ravav.
No, that's not how you say it. He's saying it the Greekish way. Rabab. Shut the fuck up. Let's go back. No, it's Rabab. Okay, so that's the primitive root word for it. Okay, so in Yahweh, Genesis 6:5, and Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Now, there was a quote by William Shakespeare, right? William Shakespeare. William, which, I believe William Shakespeare was a Jake, especially when you check out some of his quotes. William Shakespeare. Let's see. William Shakespeare quote. Check out this quote right here. And this quote has always caught my attention. I've learned this from Final Fantasy Versus 13. Okay. William Shakespeare quote. there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Okay. Okay, here it is. Let's go to images. Okay. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. William Shakespeare. You see that? So you see, good and evil comes from the thoughts within our mind. Now, something else to keep in mind is that ultimately good and evil comes from Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, right? Now, if Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai wants you to do good, okay, he's going to program it in your mind because it tells you in the book of Job, right? When deep sleep falleth upon men, then the Lord openeth their ears instead of their instruction. So if the Most High wants you to do good, if the Lord wants you to stop smoking, if he wants you to stop eating pork, if he wants you to stop committing adultery, being a mole, if he wants you to stop getting tattoos, lining yourself up, if he wants you to cut off those damn dreads, okay? If he wants you to be brotherly, pay your tithes, do your videos, go out on the highways and hedges, believe in him, he's going to program it in your mind to do so, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. Okay? Isaiah 45 and 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Now, in this case, the light would be Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Shai would be the light. Just speaking from a higher perspective, right? The light will be the word of Yahweh, right? This is what's going to lead to salvation, putting on that armor of light, right? And the darkness would be what? The evil, the wicked deeds of the world. Smoking, that's darkness, adultery, those are the works of darkness. Eating pork, eating foods in the sea or from the sea that do not have fins or scales. Those are the works of darkness. Eating animals with paws, works of darkness. Being a sodomite, those are the works of darkness. Being a pedophile, committing bestiality, those are the works of darkness. Okay, doing drugs, selling drugs, those are the works of darkness. Okay, delving into witchcraft, sorcery, dealing with familiar spirits, works of darkness, worshiping idols, taking on the customs of the other nations, the works of darkness. But the light is what? When you walk in the path of light, you keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, which we can keep to the best of our ability. Those are the works of the light, you know. So the Lord separate the light from the darkness, if you're an Israelite man, you grow your facial hair, you grow your mustache, you don't make baldness upon your head, you know. You teach the 100% correct doctrine. So the Lord said He formed the light, right? And then you got the physical light. Like you look outside. Well, I'm looking outside right now. It's morning time, right? There's light outside, so you can clearly see that it's daytime, right? Then you got the darkness, which is nighttime. When it's night out, you got the moon, you got the stars. Okay, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So when it comes from a spiritual perspective, light, which will be good, and darkness, which will be evil, right? It all begins from the thoughts in your mind. So if you're premeditating upon smoking over and over and over, you might resist them thoughts. No, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. But eventually, if you keep dwelling upon the thought of smoking, what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to go to the store. You're going to buy a Lucy. You might buy a pack of cigarettes. And then you might tell yourself, okay, that this will be my last time. And then it might lead to a chain smoke. You might end up buying 3 more packs of cigarettes. Okay, these are going to be my last 2. Then right before you know it, you got 20 fucking packs of cigarettes in your home and shit. But ultimately, those are the evil angels working on your mind. But if you're hell bent on just not smoking anymore, then that's really the Lord programming you not to do it anymore. Those are the good angels working on your mind. Okay? Separating you from the darkness. Okay? The scriptures tell you in the book of John. Let's go to John real quick. Okay? John, the first chapter. Okay, the scriptures tell you that light is coming to the world. Let's hit Central F here and type in light. Okay? Let's read this. John chapter, I'll start at John 1 and 4. In him, in who? In Yahweh was life. Okay? Okay? What life? The breath of life. Okay? And the life was the light of men. Okay? Okay? And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. You know, Yahweh is that light. You see that? What did Yahweh tell his disciples? He is the way. Okay? Yahweh is the way to the Father. No man goeth to the Heavenly Father Yahweh except by Yahweh. Okay? And the light shineth in darkness. You see that? And is the light, well, did the light shineth in darkness during the time of Noah? The answer is yeah. Back then, right, if we come over here to Genesis 6 and 8, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. You see that? So Noah, during the time of Noah would represent that light back then. You know, Noah was that light that shineth in darkness. Okay, now I'm not saying that Noah is Yahweh. No, by no means am I saying that. What I'm saying is that Noah had the light back then. That's what I'm saying. Okay, what did Yahweh tell his disciples? Let your light so shine before men. Well, what is that light? The gospel. Now back then, Noah had the light. Noah was that candlestick that was lit that shined in the darkness. And what was that darkness during the time of Noah? The wicked deeds of men. Okay, the evil and the wicked deeds of men, which came from what? Their thoughts, their imaginations, their premeditation of the wickedness of which they was going to do. So, you know, Noah was basically teaching repentance. He was telling people, look, repent. The Lord's going to bring a flood. Water is going to come from the sky and basically flood the earth. Okay. So back then, Noah would represent that candle, that candlestick that shined in the great darkness. Okay. So John 1 and 5. And the light shineth in darkness. You look at today's time, right? Noah represented the elect during his time. Now, in this generation, right, the elect would represent Noah. Okay? The elect have the light. The elect in today's time would represent those candlesticks that is shining in gross darkness in the valley of death, which is America. And not just America, the whole world has been enshrouded in darkness. No matter where you go around the globe, you're always going to see some kind of wickedness going on. Murders, brutal tortures, okay? Children getting molested, okay? Epstein Island, child sex trafficking rings, human sex trafficking rings, human slave rings, human traffickings, people getting kidnapped, okay? Adultery, okay? You go over to Gook land, which is China or Japan, what do you see? You see you see heathens eating all manner of all unlawful things, live squids, okay, worms, beetles, maggots, okay. They're eating butterflies and chop off the rods of animals and make it a delicacy. You know, you go over to Europe, you see people having sex with horses, dogs, rhinos, cows. Same thing here in America. So America just takes on all of the wicked traditions of all of the other nations, which is why this place is called Babylon. Confusion. Okay, when you look up the word confusion, it literally means to fuse together. You got the word con, and then you got the word fuse. The word con means with or together. Then you got the word fuse, which means to bind together. So America literally binds together with the philosophies and the wicked customs of all the other nations, from the Egyptians to the Chinese to the Japanese to the East Indians and their customs and beliefs to the Arabs and their customs and beliefs. America is literally a big cesspool of the wicked philosophies, customs, and beliefs of the other nations. Because Christmas is not a American custom. Christmas goes back to the Catholic Roman Empire, which America is the modern day Roman Empire, but still, okay. So the elect would be those candlesticks that are lit up that shineth in the great darkness, which the great darkness represents the wickedness of the people, the wicked deeds of the people. Okay, you know, well, the darkness would also represent our people. Okay, because where are the wicked deeds coming from? The people here on the planet. But we know that Yahushua did not come for the other nations. He came for Israel. So ultimately, the darkness in John 1 and 5 ultimately represents the 2/3 of our people, but it can also be talking about the other nations. Even though our people have been scattered throughout the other nations, okay? So the light, which is Yahushua, because the light is the gospel, right? The holy scriptures. Now, what did Yahushua say? Yahushua said what? Lo, he come in the volume of the book, right? So ultimately, we can say that Yahushua is the gospel, the good news, because who is Yahushua coming back to deliver? His elect, his chosen. Okay, Yahushua is coming back to deliver his elect, his chosen. So Yahushua, he is the word of Yahweh, which we know the word of Yahweh to be the gospel, the holy scriptures. Okay. Okay. So we're shining the light, which is Yahushua, into the world, right? We're professing Yahushua in the world, right? We're telling our people to repent from their wicked deeds, from the works of darkness, right? So the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not, right? Because the scriptures tell you that the wicked shall do wickedly, and not that the wicked shall understand. Now, is 2/3 of our people wicked? Yeah. So 2/3 of our people, they're not going to understand the gospel. They're not going to understand Yahweh Shai. They're not going to understand the Son of the Most High Yahweh. So So the darkness, which is 2/3 of our people, they're not going to understand this gospel, okay? And it tells you that in the book of Isaiah, make the heart of this people fat and their ears heavy, that they do not hear, and make their eyes to slumber, that they see not, or just roughly paraphrasing, or make their eyes heavy, that they see not. Okay, so the darkness comprehended not, which the word comprehend is another word for understand. When you comprehend something, it means you understand it. Okay, so back then, during the time of Noah, you know, same thing was going on. All manner of wickedness. People was eating unclean foods. I mean, could you imagine, somebody eating pork in a Garden of Eden? Ugh. Oh my goodness. You know, well, guess what? People's eating pork in the Garden of Eden today, because the Garden of Eden is where? That's the land of Israel. Okay, you got fucking Pink City, Tel Aviv over there and shit. That place is going to, that the Heavenly Father is going to send a couple of nukes over that way. Okay. So again, the works of darkness starts with the thoughts in your mind, so you can better understand. You know. So now, you know, because you see, you know, even after Noah, went out there, he prophesied, you know, he was telling people to repent, this, that, fourth, and the other, you know. Ultimately, people continued on in their darkness, and what happened ultimately, eventually, the Lord brought the judgment. Okay, so we scroll down here, right, to Genesis 6:11. The earth also was corrupt before Yahweh, and the earth was filled with violence. Don't we see that today? Okay, wars. So guess what? There was wars going on during the time of Noah. Ain't nothing new. During the time of Noah, there was wars going on. Okay, you know, men. Okay, there was, there was people forming factions back then. People forming militias. You know, groups of people killing off groups of other people. Now, it was just mass murderings going on. People just going around on killing sprees, killing other people getting kidnapped, experimented on. You know, people was probably killing dinosaurs and eating them. People was probably feeding other people to animals and shit. I mean, who knows what was going on? All manner of traffickings were going on back then. You know, so you can only imagine how how fucked up that it was back then during the time of Noah. Let's look up this word corrupt in the Blue Letter Bible. Okay, the Hebrew word there is shakat. Shakat. Okay, I believe that's shakat. Okay, shakat. And then when we go down here, right, we see destroy, go to ruin, right? Decay. Damn, go to ruin, decay, to be marred, spoiled, to be corrupted, corrupt, be injured, spoiled, ruin, to pervert, corrupt. When you pervert something, it means you turn away from it. When you pervert when you pervert the way of righteousness, it means you turn away from the ways of righteousness. To pervert, corrupt, destroyer, spoil, ruined. Okay. So it was all manner of destruction going on back then. Okay. So that Hebrew word there is shakat. which means to bring to ruin, destroy. And we see all manner of destruction going on in today's time. Bombings, grenades going off, car bombings, suicide bombings, okay, drone bombings, okay, guns being fired off, tanks, warships, planes crashing, okay, people getting blown to smithereens, people arms and legs getting blown off in combat in war. These things are real, man. These things are real. Okay. It says, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And that's the result of what? Diving into wickedness. When you dive into, the wicked philosophies, and you dive into those wicked customs, this is what happens. Your way becomes corrupted. Men was committing sodomy back then. You better best believe sodomites existed during the time of Noah. Men having sex with men having sex with 4-year-old and 5-year-old boys. Men having sex with animals. These things were going on during the time of Noah. Adultery, murder and adultery. you know and murder and adultery is when a man would kill off, the man would basically murder the other man, you know and then he would take the man's woman and have his way with her. Okay, those things were going on during the time of Noah. you know a man's child was kidnapped and raped. you know men was eating unclean foods. Oh, and we can't forget about human sacrifices. Yeah, man was worshiping idols during the time of Noah. Yeah, so even idols existed back then. False gods existed back then. Okay, children was being sacrificed to idols. Getting stabbed in the stomach repeatedly until their spirit left their bodies. You know, people was being sacrificed to idols by fire. Witchcraft and sorcery existed. Everything you see going on here on the earth today was happening during the time of Noah. Men was probably using elephants and rhinos as mounts, running over other people. We see that going on today. People driving inside of cars, running over other people. People getting ran over by semi trucks. These things were going on. Nothing new under the sun. Okay. So, and Yahweh said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Through who? Through the sons of God, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. All these things were going on. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Now, does that mean that the Most High blew up the whole earth? No. Again, the word destroy means to break down. When you destroy something, it means you break it down. When an image is destroyed, it means the image has been broken down. Iconoclasm means what? The destruction of an image. When you destroy something, it means you take away the value from it. So the Lord literally destroyed the earth by flooding it. Okay? Because in Ecclesiastes 1:4, it tells you the earth abideth forever. So it says, make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark. Thou shalt pitch it within and without, and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. Make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits. Okay, so this had to have been bigger than the Titanic. 300 cubits? Could you imagine how long 300 cubits is? That had to have been bigger than the Titanic. Okay, it says the breadth of it 50 cubits and the height of it 30 cubits. So that this was a big ship. And we also have to consider the fact that, Noah was bringing in, the animals. Now, are we building an ark in this generation? The answer is yes. We are. We are building a spiritual ark because back then, when Noah was building his ark, that ark represented what? His that ark represented the his salvation, the vehicle of his salvation. Okay. So Noah literally worked out his salvation. Literally. He literally worked out his salvation by building that ark. Okay. Noah literally worked out his salvation by building that ark and prophesying. Now, are we building a spiritual ark? Yes, we are. But how are we building that spiritual ark? By working out our salvation with fear and trembling. By doing what? By doing videos, by going out on the highways and hedges, by paying our tithes, by fasting, praying, remaining faithful to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, by being brotherly, by taking care uh, by doing the things that we need to do, teaching the 100% correct doctrine, being obedient to the gospel, okay, which is the word of Yahweh, who is Yahweh Shai, okay. So spiritually, we're building an ark, and we're telling our people, look, there's about to be another flood. Which this time the flood is going to be spiritual because it's going to come in the form of Jacob's trouble, which is going to be through what? Martial law, starvation, through famine, pestilence, which there is a pestilence going on right now. Okay. Disease acts. That's been the newest talk amongst the World Economic Forum. So we can't forget about disease acts. Okay. What else? I already mentioned martial law, civil war, race wars, newly created beasts. Okay. Terminator robots in the form of metalhead, the DARPA dogs, actual Terminator robots, you know, drones, missiles, executions, concentration camps, monstrous apparitions. This place being plagued with the plagues of ancient Egypt. World War III, and ultimately the nuclear destruction, which is going to be accompanied by Yahweh's return, or Yahweh's return, which is going to be accompanied by the nuclear destruction, because they're around that time, you know, while all this while the spiritual flood is happening, what's going to be happening? The salvation is going to be going on. Okay, just like how when Noah was in the ark when the flood came. So this time the flood is going to be it's going to be spiritual, and it's going to come in the form of Jacob's trouble. This place being invaded by foreign troops, which this place is already being invaded by foreign troops. They're already coming over here in the form of immigrants. Okay, disguised as immigrants. Okay, so this place is already being invaded, man. This country is through, you know. But meanwhile, while Noah was out there, right, warning the people to turn from their wickedness, what was the people doing? Some of them laughed them, mocked them. Do we have scoffers and mockers in today's time? Yes, we do. The scriptures tell you that there shall come in the last days mockers walking after their own lust. So Hey, even we have mockers and scoffers. Okay, just like how Noah had mockers and scoffers. People laugh at us. They don't take us seriously. So guess what? Guess what? When Jacob's trouble comes, that's when we spiritually enter the ark. Which is what? That's when the Most High is going to have Lord's will. If we're of the elect, we hope to be of the elect. When Jacob's trouble comes, the Lord is going to have a hedge around us to protect us from what is coming. Okay? Okay? So, this is going into the building of the ark. So when we read verse 17, right? Genesis 6 and 17, and behold, I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth. Now, this was actual floods of water during the time of Noah. Okay, to destroy all flesh wherein the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is under and everything that is in the earth shall die, except for the sea creatures, of course, because they were created to live in water. So, but everything that is on the ground of the earth shall die. Okay, so, but with thee will I establish my covenant. Okay, and the Lord is going to establish his second covenant with his elect when the elect gets beamed up into what the world calls UFOs. So that's when the Lord is going to establish his second covenant. Okay, so you see that? But with thee will I establish my covenant. Now, back then, the Lord did establish his covenant. Okay, and ultimately, that covenant was established with Jacob. Okay, well, that covenant was established through Jacob. When Moses went up to when Moses went up to Mount Sinai. Okay, when Moses went up to Mount Sinai. Okay, that's when that a covenant was officially established. Okay, but with thee will I establish my covenant. But that first covenant was broken. But there's a second covenant that's going to be made, and that covenant is going to be made when the elect gets beamed up into what the world calls UFOs. So, you know, but with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. And every living thing of all flesh of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and so forth. Thus did Noah according to all that Yahweh commanded. So in the next chapter, I believe it goes into the flood and so forth and so forth. So, now, right, let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 32, I believe. Okay, so let's start at verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Okay, so nobody knew when the flood came, right? Except for Noah. But this time, when Jacob's trouble comes, which is going to come in the form of that spiritual flood, right? Nobody's going to know when Jacob's trouble comes, but when it comes, it's going to catch hundreds of millions of people off guard, especially our people. Why? Because Jake is busy partying, bullshitting, smoking, getting high, doing wickedness. So, Jake is going to wake up one day and his ass is going to be terrified. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking. Eating and drinking is a metaphor for partying. They were eating and drinking, partying, being gay. being all caught up into those wicked philosophies, diving into those wicked philosophies and those wicked customs. Okay. They were eating and drinking, marrying. Marriage is sex, right? They were all caught up in sex and given in marriage. They were given in sex until the day that Noah entered into the ark and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also be the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay. So when Yahweh Shai returns, when Yahweh Shai returns, there's still going to be violence going on down here on the earth. Same things that was going on during the time of Noah. And around those times, what's going to be happening? There's going to be deliverances going on. The elect is going to get beamed up into what the world calls UFOs, while the chariots are zapping this place with fire, zapping people to powder, and then ultimately the nuclear destruction raining down on this country, in which this country is going to be hit with 200 million nuclear warheads. And as the elect is going up into the chariots, that second covenant is going to be established with them, because the law, statutes, and commandments is going to be embedded into the minds of those new bodies, which the spirit of the elect is going to be transitioned into. Okay, because these bodies are not going up into what the world calls UFOs. Okay. So when the elect gets beamed up into what the world calls UFOs, the the spirit is going to leave these bodies and be transitioned into those new bodies, which is going to have the law, statutes, and commandments embedded into the minds of those bodies. And Lord's will, if we're of the elect, we're going to be perfect. We're going to be perfect. We're going to be on them chariots. We're going to be rejoicing. We're going to be terrified. We're going to be praising Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and singing praises and songs unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, while looking down at the destruction of America. So it's going to be a beautiful moment. You know, some of us is probably going to be crying too while on those chariots, man. But I pray that you, brothers and few sisters, were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect, and on to the next one.